Labour leader Keir Starmer is refusing to back down on plans to slash disability benefits, despite overwhelming evidence that the cuts will push millions into poverty, hundreds of thousands into premature death, and cost the country more in the long term than they save. And he knows it. So the question is, why is he doing it? I'm Mike Sivyer of Vox Political. Buy me a coffee or donate more than £20 and I'll give you a free book. More on that later. Subscribe to the video mailing list, like and comment on this post, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But watch this first, to the end, because you're going to want to. Despite protests from within his own party, widespread public outcry, and dire warnings from disability campaigners, medical professionals, and economists, Starmer insists we have got to get the reforms through. He's talking about a package of changes that will strip Personal Independence Payment, PIP, from up to 1.3 million disabled people, most of whom already live in poverty and already struggle to meet the extra costs of their conditions. This benefit is not means tested, not tied to work status, and was designed precisely to help disabled people live independently and participate in society. Now, Starmer wants to take it away from people who, he admits, are already unsupported. He justifies the changes by saying the system isn't working. But it is working for those who survive the brutal assessments and prove their need for support. His real problem seems to be that it works at all, that too many people have been able to cling to life despite everything this country has already done to them. What kind of leader hears that 1 million disabled people may suffer and says, good? As a reporter, one aspect of this that I can't understand is the complicity of the media. Any journalist working on this story who is worth the job title will know the consequences of Starmer's cruel reforms. They will know the history and they will have seen the research by experts who say the planned changes will be fatal for large numbers of people. Why are they failing to call him out on them, along with Rachel Reeves, Liz Kendall and any of his other government cronies who echo the lie that they are necessary? Why don't they say to him, what you are telling us, Prime Minister, is that you want hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of disabled people to die. Isn't that right? Starmer's excuse is that he says those who can work should. But here's the truth. These benefits aren't even work-related. PIP is for the extra costs of being disabled, not for being unemployed. Starmer is also fully aware that the cuts won't drive disabled people into employment because the jobs aren't there. His own government's economic policies are shrinking the job market. Employers are facing rising costs from new taxes and wage policies. With a larger pool of able-bodied people also desperate for work, bosses will always choose those who don't require what's called reasonable adjustments or time off for chronic health conditions.
What do you think happens when someone with any kind of conditions, let's say epilepsy for the hell of it, goes to a boss, and I'm sitting next to someone who doesn't have epilepsy, and I would say, I'd like a job, please. What's the boss going to do? Which one do we employ? The other one. It's always the other one. Yeah. Someone who has a chronic long-term condition, no matter how manageable it is considered less employable by every single employer in this country. I'm self-employed, because I couldn't go and get a job with my skills and my disability tomorrow. It just wouldn't happen.
Starmer knows this. So what he's really saying is, we're taking your support and leaving you with nothing. He's not offering jobs, he's giving disabled people a death sentence. What will happen to the disabled people who lose their benefits? They will fall into extreme poverty. Many will be forced to rely on overstretched NHS services, social care and emergency support, all of which cost the taxpayer far more than the benefits they were receiving. The £4.8 billion savings Starmer claims these cuts will deliver will likely be cancelled out or even exceeded by the surge in demand across other services. So it's not just immoral, it's economically stupid. A pointless cruelty that could drive millions into hardship for nothing. It is a policy that kills people and still costs more. And yet he still insists on pressing ahead. Why? Is it the old Blairite obsession with appearing tough? Is it about appeasing right-wing media headlines? Is it a calculated cruelty to deter future claimants? Whatever the reason, people will die, and he knows it. This has happened before. Let's remember, the United Nations condemned the former Conservative government's disability benefit cuts as causing what it called a human catastrophe. Between 2011 and 2019, an estimated 100,000 sick and disabled people died shortly after being declared fit for work or having their support withdrawn. The Department for Work and Pensions refused to investigate many of these deaths. No one was held accountable. The UN called it a human catastrophe. But now Labour is doing the same, maybe worse. And let's put this in context. That's twice as many people as have been killed in Gaza since October 2023. Those deaths in Gaza are rightly being described as genocide. But what do we call it when a UK government knowingly pushes hundreds of thousands of disabled people into a situation where their deaths are inevitable? What do we call it when a Prime Minister elected on promises to protect the vulnerable breaks that promise, looks the British public in the eye and says, "We're getting on with the reforms"? Not reform, not savings, not leadership. We call it what it is, state-sanctioned extermination by neglect. If the Labour Party supports this, then Labour is no longer the party of the vulnerable. It is the party of their executioners. I've been Mike Sivyer, and it's time to buy me that coffee now. Donate more than £20 and I'll give you a free copy of my reissued first book, Strong Words in Hard Times. Subscribe to the video mailing list, like and comment on this post, please, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do all that, you'll be helping keep this channel alive, and then you'll be able to see me in the next one.